as its commander, the unit existed continuously throughout the indictment period and its members. The trial chamber is convinced that the accused participated in the formation of and directed a special purpose unit under the authority of the Serbian State Security Service. This formation began in the summer of 1991 with the training of recruits at the Golubic training camp near Kanin. At least around August or September 1991, Simatovic selected around 28 of the best trainees to form a specialized unit that would operate secretly under the Serbian Security Service. These unit members were taken to Belgrade and then to the Lezumek in Fruška Gora, Serbia, and the Pajos camp in Ilok, Croatia, where they continued to train together and to train others first part of 1992. However, the prosecution has not proven beyond reasonable doubt that unit members or those trained by them participated in crimes in Croatia that can be attributed to the accused. With respect to the crimes committed in Bosnia and Herzegovina, the trial chamber finds that in March 1992, unit members trained a group of around 18 men from Bosanski Samac. Another group, including former special police officers, namely Streko Radonovanovic, also known as Debeli, and Slobodan Milosevic, also known as Lu, were also trained in this period and were absorbed into the unit. The trial chamber finds that on April 1992, unit members including Debeli, Lugar, and Dragan Djordjevic, also known as Strani, flew from Pajos by army helicopter to village near Bosanski Samac. These unit members and others were accompanied by Bosanski Samac locals. On arrival, the group was resubordinated to the Yugoslav army and took orders from the area commander. Just in the judgment, these men also participated in the commission of crimes charged in indictment in relation to Bosanski Samac. The evidence is not sufficient, however, to establish that the accused had ordered them or otherwise instructed and supported them during the commission of the crimes. Nevertheless, the trial chamber considers that the accused provided assistance, which had a substantial effect on the commission of the crimes in Bosanski Samac, by training and deploying unit members and Bosanski Samac to participate in the takeover of the municipality. For the reasons explained in the judgment, the prosecution has not proven beyond reasonable doubt that, other than in Bosanski Samac, the accused contributed to or provided practical assistance to the commission of crimes charged in the indictment through special pull of the Serbian State Security Service. In relation to the accused's intent, the trial chamber finds that Stanisic had a comprehension of the events on the ground in Croatia and Bosnia and Herzegovina during the indictment period. The trial chamber finds that Simatovic also had unimpeded access to information about the events on the ground, one of his primary tasks during the indictment period being the collection of intelligence. Having considered the totality of the evidence before it, and in view of the scale and pattern of crimes that occurred during and the aftermath of operations by Serb forces in the areas covered by the indictment, the trial chamber proved beyond reasonable doubt that both accused were aware of the campaign of murder, persecution, and forcible displacement targeting non-Serbs in Croatia, Herzegovina during the indictment period. When considered in the context of the accused's interactions and their extensive knowledge of the events unfolding on the ground during the indictment period, the only reasonable inference from the evidence is that the accused were also aware of the shared intent of the members of the joint criminal enterprise to forcibly and permanently remove the majority of non-Serbs from Latvia and Bosnia and Herzegovina through the commission of crimes charge indictment. The trial chamber may infer the existence of a particular fact upon which the guilt of the accused is from circumstantial evidence. However, it must be the only reasonable conclusion that could be drawn from the evidence presented. If there is another conclusion, which is reasonably open from the evidence, the conclusion of guilt beyond reasonable doubt cannot be drawn. Considered the entire evidence before it, the trial chamber does not find that the only reasonable inference from the evidence is that Stanisic and Simatovic shared the intent to further the common criminal purpose. Accordingly, for the reasons explained in the judgment, the prosecution has not proven beyond reasonable doubt that the accused participated in a joint criminal enterprise. Nonetheless, the trial chamber is satisfied that the accused provided practical assistance which had a still effect on the commission of the crimes of murder, forcible displacement, and persecution committed in Bosnia, and were aware that their acts assisted in their commission. Accordingly, the chamber finds them criminally responsible for aiding and abetting the commission of the crimes in Bosanski Samac. The trial chamber does not find the accused responsible for planning, ordering, or abetting any other charged crime. For the foregoing reasons and for reasons explained in the trial chamber finds Jovica Stanisic and Franko Simatovic responsible for aiding and abetting under Article 7.1 of the ICTY statute of murder, deportation, forcible transfer, and persecution committed in Bosanski Samac. The trial chamber therefore finds Jovica Stanisic and Franko Simatovic guilty counts 1 to 5 of the indictment. Having considered all relevant factors, the trial chamber sentences Jovica Stanisic to a single 7 years of imprisonment and Franko Simatovic to a single sentence of 12 years of imprisonment. In accordance with Rule 125C, Mr. Stanisic and Mr. Simatovic are entitled to credit for the period of time they have been detained in custody pending the ICTY during the original trial and appeal proceedings and during the retrial. Pursuant to Rule 127C, Mr. Stanisic and Mr. Simatovic shall remain in the custody of the mechanism pending the finalizations for their transfer to the states where they shall serve their sentences. The trial of the prosecutor against Jovica Stanisic and Franko Simatovic has come to a close. For the judgment will be filed as soon as possible. And with that, the court adjourned.
All right, we will leave.